we haven't been together for a while.
Who are you?
I've missed you. We've missed you.
Oh.
We did like 2 or 3 episodes, just me and Hamish and guests.
It's good to have a token normal human response in the room.
I mean, there was way less edit.
What does it mean to have a human in the loop?
Human in the loop.
Human in the loop. What in the world is a human in the loop?
Being a human in the loop.
AI in the loop. Humans in charge.
Welcome to Human in the Loop.
You should just respond like an LM all podcast today. Let's all do that.
Actually,
Hey, that's a great idea.
It's not just a great idea, it's also an excellent idea.
Would you like me to draft a response?
thanks, Danu. That's fantastic. Would you like to? No. Okay. We are really going to talk about, here's my working title, 2025 to 2026. What was real versus what's hype? And last year, everything was AI everywhere. This year doesn't feel like it's any different.
Okay, so where we got to start first with so in 2026, there's 2 major events that happened.
2025?
Just going back to 2016, sorry.
Oh.
My brain's not working. So rewind to 2016, and the world started to get strange. We had COVID, we had a whole bunch of interesting political unrest around the world. And then eventually we sort of got AI and robots and more I think about it, the more and more I believe we're living in a simulation. And if you look into the history of it, the Large Hadron Collider created a black hole around about the same time.
Yeah.
So I think we've split into a parallel universe because shit was pretty normal for a while. And then it just got wild.
I do take some comfort in knowing that there's a version of me living in an alternate
Regarding their life? Yeah.
Where Trump is not a president.
You said it.
Is not
Are you going to cut it out? If you're going to cut it out, I'm going crazy.
You find it comforting? Fuck that guy. The Hamish of that universe can come here, and I'll
trade places.
Yeah.
So this, I think.
Hey, alternate Hamish. Eat shit.
Hey, we should all look at the camera and beg to the scientists of CERN to roll the dice again, and just like a little flash in the pan. Could you create another black hole just to see what happens? Could it get much worse? Probably could, but could also get a lot better.
That's my go-to. Anytime anybody says, "Could this get worse?" I was like, "Yeah, it'd be covered in spiders." Everything's worse when it's covered in spiders.
Can't shake.
Okay, I thought when we go full unhinged mode immediately.
Yeah.
What I was trying to get to is I don't think anything's predictable in 2026. Boom. Podcast over. Let's go.
There's a couple of we were just already talking about them, right? There's a couple of trends that people who watch this podcast for information, and why are you doing that? This is an entertainment podcast masquerading as an information podcast. But B, a couple of pinch points turned up that we weren't maybe some people were expecting, but like this infrastructure build out for AI, I was expecting it to run out of money. I was expecting them to be like, we just can't get any more debt funding, so that's what's causing a slowdown in infrastructure build-up. But what's actually causing a slowdown is they can't get enough RAM and they can't get enough power, which are like secondary things. You don't think about them when you think about AI. You think about the GPU chips themselves. You think about the people to run them. You don't think about like the underlying infrastructure and the things that support that. But for people who aren't aware, DRAM, the random access memory, every computer has it in it, including your phone, your laptop, all basically the same. There's some subtle differences, but it all comes from the same factories, and there's not many of them. And AI has used it all up. They're taking about 60% of global production now to make new AI chips, and it's pushing up the price. It's gone up like a factor of 3, so 300% more expensive. And same thing with power. There's these big complaints in America about data centers
and brownouts and stuff.
And the people local to the data center, they complain about like the noise and the air quality. Those are definitely bad. But people quite a long way away complain about their power prices. They've gone up enormously. I mean, energy prices in America have always been insanely cheap. So it's probably like, I don't know what they pay per kilowatt hour, but I imagine any New Zealander would look at it and go, what are you complaining about? That's still very cheap. Mm-hmm. But it's gone up. Like some people have, again, like 3 or 4 times as much.
It's also really, there's a lot of wastage in their energy production. It's quite legacy energy production. I remember reading this Bloomberg article of this guy who used satellite images to find burn-off on like private farms around like Texas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just identify flames, which is these small, what are they called? Derricks? Oil derricks?
Yeah.
That are like owner operated. So you got like a rancher and they've got a big swath of land. There's just so much oil floating around in the surface in like random patches that it's quite common to have like 5 or 6 derricks on your ranch pulling up crude and then you sell it to a refiner. But sometimes they can't be bothered, or it's like in a place that has like not enough output. So they just ignite it and burn it off because they can't do anything else. And well, they can do other stuff, but they can't be fucked doing anything else. And so this guy picked out all these derricks and basically started buying the oil and dropping diesel generators next to them.
Oh, yeah.
Or some kind of generator that could burn it because it needs to be refined or whatever. And then used it to crypto mine. So he was like, he was actually getting better ROI than everybody else because everyone else was buying on the grid and this guy was just using energy that was being burnt for free, basically.
It's an entry, like there might be another opportunity there, right? So another year's first diversion and the year's first story I'm stealing and badly paraphrasing from Hank Green. So just go watch him. But part of the issue with plastic is that the input chemicals to make new plastic, you basically get paid to take it in America. So when they've got all this fracking turns up methane and ethane and all sorts of other things. They only want the methane. The methane is natural gas. You get to sell it to people. They burn it in their stoves and in their heating. And America is infrastructurally designed to use methane for a lot of energy sources. The ethane is a waste product, but you can't not get it. It just comes out of the ground when you get the methane. What do you do with it? So one thing you can do is you burn it off. And they do that a bit, but there's environmental limits to how much you're allowed to do that because, it's bad for the air quality. And so they probably push the envelope quite a lot, but sometimes these fracking operations will have to shut down because they're not allowed to burn any more of the ethane and they've got nowhere to do with it. The other thing you can do with it is sell it to someone who turns it into plastic because there are plastics that you can make from ethane. And if you can find something like they'll basically give it to you for free or even pay you to take it away because they need to get rid of it in order to be able to do the thing they actually want to do, which is frack and sell the methane. But yeah, maybe you could do this, maybe there's an opportunity there to go and say.
It probably burns, right?
Yeah. I mean, they burn it off, right? So you can get energy from it. It's just not as, I don't know.
You heard it here.
Efficient.
You heard it here. You heard it here. You heard it here.
Yeah, team.
Trademark. Does anyone know, asking for a friend, where I could get a ethane diesel generator?
In New Zealand, we don't do much fracking, fortunately. So I'll have to go over to the States.
It's such a
Horrible work.
it's the name, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Sounds as awful as it is.
Yeah, I think it's one of the reasons it's popular in America is because it's a very American macho sound. They're going to frack the oil right out of the ground.
I just love that it's like so close to a Battlestar Galactica mutation of the F word.
Yeah. But that was fracking as well.
I think it was the same word, right? But before fracking was a thing.
Yeah.
When Bryn was about 2 years old, I'll cut this out. He would say frack all the time. Frack you, mum. And everyone thought it was very funny. It's not funny to have your 2-year-old say frack you.
It's pretty funny.
Okay, we were talking about the CES conference just before. What you would really like to go to, and you were saying it was a bit like ho-hum. So if you look back to a couple of announcements or hardware or just exciting developments, what do you think was actually exciting and moved the needle, and what was just like, oh, come on, that's not that cool?
The biggest viral announcement was this solid state battery from Donut, whatever.
The what?
Yeah,
Say more.
This company that builds electric motors.
Sorry to interrupt, watch.
This company that builds electric motors, they're really efficient electric motors, and they're they're San Fran, California based, some kind of California based. They've been doing it for a while, and they're generally considered their motors are pretty good, pretty specialty, used for high performance cars and trucks and things like that. They had sort of secretly been working on their own battery, which is a solid state battery, which has no liquid electrolyte and uses things like graphene and stuff to be effectively super dense. So if it's like computer chips, they start off big and then you keep shrinking them, it means the electrons can travel faster, everything's more efficient, and that's generally how we've gotten speed out of computers for the last 50 years. This is sort of a similar type thing where that we're trading the fluid chemistry for something that's a little bit more dense, and they're claiming crazy things like, I think it was like 2-minute 80% charge times, and
I think the other thing, like
100,000 cycles.
The problem with regular lithium batteries, the reason they degrade is because you get like these dendrite growths on the electrodes over time. So,
and then they eventually touch and short circuit.
And solid state, I guess, prevents that, right? Because it's.
I mean, BYD actually have a car in China that they refer to as a semi-solid state battery, and it's actually in full production. And it's a cheap car in China. And so I think they're like experimenting with how to run it in a production setting. But that would be absolute game changer, because like
for EVs or for
everything, like you it's potential that it sort of has the potential, if you extrapolate out 5 years, that you would never charge your phone, kind of thing. Like it's so power efficient that
a battery that lasts longer than
months, kind of thing. Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is, if you look at the Boston Dynamics robots as well, they can operate 24/7 because they designed a really simple solution, which is a dual battery pack system. And it has a program that when the battery starts running low, it just goes back to its charging station, removes one battery, gets the next one, attaches it to itself, and then carries on.
Was it you who was showing me the art project where the robotic R was like constantly trying to sweep up its own hydraulic fluid to keep itself alive?
Such a good art piece.
But that reminds me of that, like if you pull out your battery and then you're like a capacitor of like 30 seconds to get the new battery in before you die. Then you plug the new battery and you realize it didn't charge properly, and now you're like scrambling to find another battery.
So I'm not across robots as much as the two of you, unless for artistic purposes. So,
but I mean,
please correct me if I'm wrong on this statement, but I felt like when the Boston Robotics dog in particular came out, 10 plus years ago, that's been around for a while. I don't feel like what they've done feels game changing for an organization that was so ahead of the game back then. The humanoid didn't seem wildly impressive. Maybe the impressiveness is in its capabilities or the runtime or how it charges itself, but I don't know.
No, it's like,
think they're leading?
I think they've had to completely change their strategy. Yeah. So they were at risk of being Kodak when the digital camera kind of arrived. They've been doing it so long that they kind of got leapfrogged.
Yep.
So it's like Toyota, right? Like if you've ever had a Toyota infotainment system from like, I would say 2022 prior, you're just like, what the actual fuck is going on with Toyota's software team? Whereas, they've kind of had to catch up. And so Toyota had like lion's share on quality and all of that stuff. And then they kind of made a weird bet, which was like, we'll always win on our car's quality. And then with no consideration that, China, Volkswagen in Germany and all of these other companies would like, because you get this like commoditization effect. So everyone taught China how to make really high quality goods by basically saying, Apple designed in California, made in China. And then we all trust the quality of an Apple device, but that's coming out of a factory in China. So eventually you will bleed that IP to whatever country is labor arbitrage you're trying to leverage. It happened in Thailand. Thailand has a massive car manufacturing. I think most people don't even realize that their Ford Ranger was probably built entirely in Thailand.
It's actually a horrible racist hangover from the 90s that goods made in China and Taiwan are low quality.
Yeah.
So it's not true.
Yeah. So I think Toyota kind of made this bet that they would always win on the quality of their cars, but it was strange because that's eventually going to go away. Like eventually your competition will match you, and they got matched. And then it was like, oh, okay, now we're caught short on the software because everyone was buying, newer cars like a Tesla, which were driving up the customer experience in the car. Because it was so much simpler. I'm not going to say it's simple, but I would say it's mechanically simpler to design and build an EV that has half decent performance than it is to, build an internal combustion engine. There's so many more moving parts. You'd have to buy the engine from somebody, all of this stuff. And I think Boston Dynamics, their work was so impressive 10 years ago, and then they got caught on the doubling of capability from the singularity. And all of these robotic startups like Figure came from nothing, like started 18 months ago, and then had like a full humanoid robot that outperformed the big Atlas. And it's because they were able to leapfrog all of the thinking and the ingrained culture and the ingrained patterns that existed before. And a similar sort of thing happened in telco. So when Africa went from, I think it was like 30 years ago, there was 5 million phone connections in Africa.
What?
Yeah. And now there's over 1 billion. And they skipped banking entirely and jumped straight to M-Pesa or whatever. There's only 2 now. So everything in Africa is done with mobile banking. And you think about New Zealand, how many times do we bitch about like, fuck, I can't do this on my phone.
Yeah.
It's because they leapfrogged and never had to upgrade from GPRS to edge to first G to 2G to 3G to 4G to 5G. They just jumped straight to 4G. So I think it's sort of that. It's good on Boston Dynamics for like going, shit, we need to compete, and then building the creepiest robot I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Yeah, I mean, they made a reasonable bet at the time, right? They like, if you look at the old Boston Dynamics robots, they're like the first videos they released. If you notice, they're like diesel powered. I don't know diesel, but like they're running on combustion engines, because at the time you couldn't get sufficiently dense energy and to run a standalone robot. So they were either always connected to the roof by umbilical cords so that they could run all the power and compute somewhere, or if you got it standalone, then like the first versions of, I've forgotten the code name for their dog. Spot. Yeah. The first versions of Spot, like they had like a gas engine in them. You could hear it as like as it was going around. And the bet at the time was locomotion is the hard problem, right? Like getting a robot to move accurately is the hard problem. Somebody will figure out eventually how to, get electric power and compute sufficiently dense to drive the locomotion software, but we'll have all that IP and locomotion software, and people won't be able to replicate that. And someone has solved the electrics problem, right? Like it's pretty trivial. Like I can go into AliExpress and I can't buy the batteries because they're difficult to ship. But if you're in China, you can just go down the road and get them. But like really high density electronic motors and brushless motor drivers and things, they're relatively available now, possibly as a side effect of the drone military industrial complex or electric cars or like lots of different things. But the thing that's surprising is that locomotion has become pretty easy too, right? Like not trivial, but certainly not need a 20-year research program to get to work anymore. And so, yeah, I think they are still potentially ahead, right? The game changer would be a humanoid robot that can do more than locomotion. And so far, we haven't seen that, right? We haven't seen general purpose AI driving robots. That's what everyone's pushing for.
There was those Swedish guys with the weird, creepy robot that had like, and there's just a dude watching you like in a VR headset. I'm like, what the actual fuck? Yeah. Like, who thought this was a good idea? This is the most tech pro echo chamber I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. And the video is hilarious because there's a dude on a chair with a wife beater. Yeah, and you're just like, what is going on? I do not understand. Like, there's a dude with long hair and a wife beater, and he looks like he just got out of prison. And there's this robot that is wearing a fucking wetsuit or something.
I think it's just very LA aesthetic.
Yeah, but also the way that the video worked, they were like demonstrating this fucking robot with the like just like crazy creepiness, doing all this shit, and then right with the wife beater guy, and your what the fuck factor is just going up through this entire video, and then right at the end, there's a dude standing in the fucking building with a headset, and the founder's like trying to smooth it over. He's just like, yeah, and so we use VR headsets and people in the background to monitor the video feed, and this allows us to correct our actions in real time. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. That's just a remote control fucking robot. Like,
yeah. And I mean, I understand the
product launch I've ever seen in my entire fucking life, and I can't believe they actually thought it was okay to ship. So marketing needs to be fucking fired at that company.
Whoever VC'd them, that's not great. I mean, I understand the play there, right? Which is one of the theories for what is holding up humanoid robots, general purpose humanoid robots. We don't have the training data, right? LLMs are trained off text, and there's enormous amounts of existing text. Whether they were allowed to access that text or not, too late. They've taken it all, they've put it into the AI. That's what they've used as that training data for LLMs. But for robots, we don't even have the method of recording the sensory data that we use for doing stuff every day. When you pick up a plate, you use the touch sensor in your hand as like a critical element of holding that plate. You can feel the weight distribution in your fingers. You can feel the way that the different torques of motion like pull against the different elements in your hand to know like where the weight is balanced on the plate. And all of that information, we don't even have a way of recording that and then playing that back to people. So there's no huge corpus of touch data or proprioception data as we move around, right? One way people are trying to solve this is like NVIDIA is trying to build these virtual world systems where, okay, we can't collect it from the physical world, but you can just stick a robot or stick a human in VR in a virtual world and collect that information virtually instead, right? You don't have to design a system that measures the touch sensing in your hand if it's just a completely fake hand and you can read the touch information directly. But the other way is that they're trying to be like, why doesn't everybody just have a robot in their home? And initially we'll just remote drive them all. But at the same time, we'll be collecting all that data for all of those actions. And eventually we will have enough data to run it through the training process and do it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to second guess a whole lot of human interactions where you're being asked to complete a task and actually in the background it's data capture. Like,
We are 100% being used for free training data.
I read one the other day. If you've heard this rumor, or maybe it's not a rumor, fake news, we'll check it up on the loop back. I saw a story the other day that cited that a huge investment in Pokemon Go or the predecessor to that was CIA for mapping.
Yeah.
Possible. Yeah.
Yeah. What was in it? It was before it was Pokemon Go, it was called something else and it started with I. It was basically the same game, but without cartoons.
Yeah.
It was like,
not geocaching, but like,
one of the things you did is like you could nominate important places in your city.
Yes.
And so it was one of the things they were using it for is like, where do the local people consider important in their region? Like, where are the places of human congregation?
Well, I will say CIA World Factbook. Great website.
Yeah,
great website. Was a great website. Don't know about now.
Yeah.
They try, like, I think what we're doing is just normalizing data collection.
Yeah.
So they started with the web, and then they got smart home speakers, and then they're listening to us 100%. There's been so many scandals. Even trustworthy companies like Apple have had issues with Siri, voice clips being annotated by and leaked. And so I think what the tech bros might be trying to do is kind of like go, so VR live stream is totally normal.
I'm really enjoying this Nordic accent, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Telemetry and data collection has been on a slippery slope.
We have such a perfect society, and we just ignore the fact that we stole hundreds of countries' resources to build it. That's in the past. This is in the past. Yeah. Greenland.
Sorry, I have to go now. It's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna storm off because of what.
Okay, this is an edit. Just edit this the right way. Okay,
I actually think it's awesome that Lego have put so much effort into creating a tech-first physical product that doesn't require a screen to interact with. I mean, it's not actually that cool at the end of the day. It's like a brick with a light in it. But.
Yeah, I got a cease and desist from Lego Mindstorms back in the day. Yeah, I got given Lego Mindstorms for my birthday, and they had like this really shitty kids like software for programming. It was like Scratch.
Oh my God.
I was like 15. Well, there's like an IR tower, and the IR tower beams to the brick.
Yeah.
And it like you had to like use drag and drop. It was like a real kiddie block type thing. And by this point, I could already program. Yeah. And it was like you had to upload you drag and drop your program like a 2-year-old, and then you would hit upload, and then this IR brick that you connected to the back of your PC would like download the program to the brick, and then you'd have to hit run, and then you'd fuck up something because like the motor runs too long or some shit, and then like you'd have to go again. And I was like, this is the slowest development iteration cycle I've ever experienced as a 13-year-old. And I decided to like snoop the IR port, and it turned out like every program there was like this little token that was sent at the end that made the brick like acknowledge the program.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I wonder what happens if you like send one brick in one program with like a run straight command. And it turned out each individual command followed by that thing would make the brick execute it straight away. And there was like no lag. So I was like, okay, this is like a normal IR port. Like I could just write some software that, controls the brick in real time by sending like one instruction programs continuously. And I did this and I wrote it in like C or something like that. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So I'll just put it on the internet. So I stuck it on the internet. And then I get an email from like some fucking Danish company called Lego. And they're like, are you the creator of this website? And I was like GeoCities or something. And I was like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm using my software. And they're like, could you take it down? And I was like, why? And they're like, it voids our warranty because like their software had like controls for like running the motors for long and how long you could keep the sensor depressed before it aired out and shit. And I was like, okay. Yeah, that was my cease and desist. I've had 3 cease and desists from large companies, and that was one of my first ones. So.
Amazing. Save the other 2 for another day. But that's the leapfrogging you were talking about, right? Like you have a product, a large company gets it to a point, and then you need someone to come across and go, thanks for doing all of that thinking. I've spotted the gap that you haven't solved for yet. I'm going to go over and do that.
Yeah. And also, I think Lego, like their edict around playtime versus screen time.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty smart.
It's really earnest.
And it's also the future that the kids are going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Everything's going to have a fucking sensor.
Yeah.
You're going to be on CCTV everywhere. They're going to know what your heart rate is.
Where they're going to be collecting sensory data.
Oh, yeah. They're collecting it wildly now. Yeah.
Okay, so let's reflect on 2025. Another part of
Should I sit over there and then it's like more natural? Oh, we could do...
Cybersecurity. 2025 had a lot of mishaps in New Zealand in particular. I still don't think the Health NZ data recovery has fully been recovered.
Is this the Waikato one or the Manage My Health one?
Manage My Health.
Yeah.
Well, all of them.
But I also, I mean,
something that's not going away.
Happened. It's the bank robbery of the future.
Yeah.
I just watched Bandit, by the way. Good movie.
Bandit.
Yeah.
Prison.
Canadian guy who was robbing Canadian banks because Canadian security was so nice. And he robbed like 30 banks or something like that without being caught. And he would just like walk in, put a costume on and walk out.
What's the... Oh,
Josh Duhamel. And
just reminded me of very real life breaking into the Louvre in 2025 and the Louvre security password was like Louvre 1234 or something.
Yeah, change your... I mean, honestly, guys, like, are we still there? No birthdays, no short passwords, lots of symbols, and use a password manager.
Yeah.
Or use passkeys, which apparently is like the shit.
Passkeys, I feel like just got thrust upon me in the last 2 months, and it sometimes sends me into a loop of validation inside my own device that I kind of can't get out of. But
yeah, they're good. Like, you should definitely use passkeys if you can.
Yeah.
And if you can't use passkeys, really long passwords.
Yeah.
And 2-factor. Absolutely 2-factor.
Yeah.
The Manage My Health thing is such a step backwards because it's like it was actually starting to get traction and people were getting better outcomes and then some fucking terrorist comes along and goes, I want to be famous.
Do they want to be famous or do they want the money?
I think they want to be famous. That's what they said in the news articles, right?
Right.
So I think, yeah.
That's pretty scary when you take a disenfranchised population, cost of living crises, people with a lot of time and access to grind on their hands and a huge amount of know-how. And AI making it so much easier.
Yeah, I think AI code production, code analysis, I mean, to not think that these tools are used by criminals is naive. Like even in physical crime.
Yeah.
Like, if you get productivity improvement doing a legitimate job, there are certain aspects of illegitimate jobs that would also see a equivalent productivity increase, right? Like, I put it this way. If an article came out that said that the Louvre criminals used AI to analyze the weakness in the Louvre security, like ChatGPT or something like that, I wouldn't be surprised.
Even hacking video feeds, you can spot patterns in security guards and people walking. You can spot blind spots and all of that. Do you think, without creating headlines that don't exist, that we're going to see some really significant cyber attacks in the coming year?
I think we've seen like the Waikato DHB hack was how many years ago? That was pretty significant. Manage My Health, if the hacker honors the ransom, then maybe we got away with it. But how do you know? So you pay the money and then he gives his word that he's going to delete it. Like, I'm sure there's intention there, but who knows who's on the other side of this? So yeah, it's just, I don't know. The safest way to secure something is to not have it. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Which is wild because most of everybody's life is online now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do wonder if authentication needs a reconsideration. Like banks rely on you like having secret knowledge.
Yeah.
What if you flip the whole model on its head and said, actually, we're going to rely on all of that knowledge we'll design a security model that assumes that all that information is public.
Yeah.
So
that's another instance where a system has been designed. No one's really leapfrogged it yet. I was in Mexico last week and I was presented with an FPOS terminal or like a credit card machine, whatever. And I tapped my card and I needed to put in a PIN and I looked at that and I kind of had to blink 3 times. I was like, the numbers are all in a strange order. And she was like, yeah, the keypad randomizes with each transaction so that nobody looking ever knows the order you've...
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
we've got that on
man, that's simple.
door lock.
I've never seen that before.
Well, it's why I don't enter my PIN code in security sensitive areas because of CCTV.
Yeah.
I never want anyone to see that. So that's why I use Face ID.
But like as a standard, that's a pretty awesome thing to have. And I've never seen it in New Zealand before. Like how simple is that? Well, it was on a terminal where the numbers were digital. And we've still got a lot of systems with physical buttons.
Yeah. There are some simple things that, that if we reevaluate authentication from what they call zero trust effectively, I think you'd get a much better result. The thing is, you have to be really creative about the practicality.
Yeah.
So like Soviet spies and American spies back in the day used to use a code book.
Yep.
Like a physically issued code book, right? So if we're saying that cyber criminals can break in and they can get all of these digital details, maybe it's time to go back to, well, there's somewhere halfway across the world they can't physically access a code book that you've got lying around. And maybe the code book is, the 2-factor aspect, which means it can't be guessed. It can't be stolen from a password manager. It can't be stored on a phone. And maybe you use a code book for any transaction over $10,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Biometrics is scary though, like as a part of 2-factor, eye, face, fingers. If given enough value, somebody will take you.
Yeah.
Under great duress, I was thinking, how far away are we from using physical?
This is not, in my view, biometrics is not reliable.
No.
I think that's breakable as well. Like, yeah.
And break-offable.
Yeah. Completely. Yeah. I can't see a world that has zero trust that doesn't involve physical verification.
Yeah.
Like, are you? And give me some clear evidence that you are you. But even that is still a trust-based model. Like how yeah. I don't know.
As we live in a world of horrifically low trust. Like it's
polarized trust. It's like trust assumptions that shouldn't be made. Like a password is strong enough to authenticate your bank account. I don't agree with that. I never have agreed with that. Like, you cannot compare a password to in-person authentication at a branch.
What would have to happen in the world for you to decide to pull all your money out of a bank and stick it on your bed?
Who says I haven't?
That's such a your answer. Yeah.
What would have to happen to pull all of the money out of a bank? What would the biggest trigger be?
Like, what would the signals be? Imagine there are a couple of countries around the world right now that are going through kind of digital crisis or blackouts or whatever.
I think
there are signs leading up.
It would be a nuke, a nuclear detonation.
Do you even need money?
Or a country that we've lost contact with. It would be one of those two things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I would drop what I was doing and I would go straight to the bank and pull every dollar and liquidate every stock and go into my bunker.
Because it's funny how far away we've moved from being a cash-based society to being almost entirely, most people don't carry any cash.
No.
And because it's not seen as being efficient or good or smart with money.
Yeah. I've always wondered why people store money in gold. I would store money in beans. Like if you think like a true store of value is like calories.
Well, it depends for the type of world you're preparing for.
Oh
Gold
yeah, I'm always worst case.
Yeah, but it's true. Yeah, people store it in gold because gold is seen to never lose its value.
Underneath my house is 1,000 cans of.
But the value in gold is entirely human created. I mean, it has properties as a metal that are really advantageous, but it's science and
dense.
social things move on.
Yeah,
the value of gold is would you take out a bar of something else?
I'm stockpiling beans and water.
Seeds. That's a good stockpile. In summer in Svalbard, they have like a...
But you need fertilizer and, if you get beans and water, you can steal the seeds later. You'll be stronger than everybody. Mad Max!
Okay, we've wildly divested.
Scenario planning,
cybersecurity. Yeah, that was a wild one. It will continue to be wild, I think. If you had some advice for going into the coming year with cybersecurity, should it be one of the first things you ever think about in anything it kind of should, but how would you approach?
Yeah, it's an arms race, Those never turn out well. That's all I got.
God, he's Blake.
No, I mean, look, there are things you can do, right? Like just make sure that you've got it. Ogres are like onions, donkey.
And
security is like an onion, donkey.
That it has layers?
You need the layers of the onion to protect yourself. You see, the prize is the core of the onion. And the layers around it are all your best practices and your policies and your security team and your security software. That'll keep you safe. Right, donkey. That's my best Mike Myers trick.
It was really good.
Yeah, you could see the strain on my face.
You were trying very hard.
Parts of my brain activating to like.
As long as we're not pulling out a fat bastard Mike Myers.
Why did you bring that up, Alaina? Why did you bring that up?
Okay. We'll wrap it up. 2026 bets. What are you looking forward to? What are you expecting to happen, even though you don't want it to?
Great question. I think robots.
Hardware full stop?
Yeah, hardware, robots. This is just a really fascinating step change. I think there's a lot of research going into dropping how LLMs are trained from textual data into visual data.
Yep.
There's a statistic that like a child, so LLMs are trained on the entire corpus of written human knowledge.
Yeah.
And assumedly publicly available. And there is a statistic that says that a 4 or 5-year-old child has consumed more information through their eyes than that corpus of knowledge, which has always made sense to me. Like the entire, picture is worth 1,000 words, for the simplest analogy. And then all of this generative AI that we've been struggling to use, aside from Christmas cards and like shitty slide presentation backgrounds. NVIDIA and a couple of the players around robotics are using dynamic generation of what the video cameras on robots would see completing a task.
Yep.
So they're not actually making the robot like change a light bulb. They're going, render me a video of a robot arm that looks like this changing a light bulb in the dark. And then they're rendering that as a fake video, deep fake video. And then they're using that to feed into the training set.
Oh, okay.
So they don't actually have to complete the actual action.
Kind of like robot manifestation.
Yeah, exactly right. So they're visualizing what the robot would do in the wrong situation and the right situation, labeling that and then putting it into the training set.
Yeah.
Which has seemed to produce, synthetic data is never as good as real data, but if you can trade that off with volume because you can generate tons of synthetic data, but
Yeah.
you can't easily capture, unique situations. And then what they're also doing is like using game engines to simulate joint dynamics. So all of the, it's a mathematics field called inverse kinematics. And what they do is they give a robot and a neural network like a task to achieve, but in a video game. So they don't actually have to use a real robot, and they don't have to worry about all the electronics and the real world getting in the way. They can simulate that, and then that accelerates the starting point. So you start with that neural network before you put it into a robot. So I think in the next 2-3 years, we're going to start seeing a dramatic realization of robots that can actually operate and do half useful things in a home. I mean, there's that artist saying, I want AI to do the dishes and laundry so that I can do the painting and writing. I want AI to do the writing and painting so that I can do the dishes and laundry. So that's pretty amazing. EVs and battery technology, it's like a tsunami. I think anyone that still thinks oil is the way forward, sure. But it's more like a begrudging thing as opposed to a thing that's going to stick around for any long period of time. The number of Chinese EV brands, and whether it's subsidized or not, it's kind of irrelevant. The volume of cars that they're producing, the quality, the capability, and now NVIDIA's signed to create an autonomous driving program that's in direct competition with Tesla. Tesla. And BYD's part of that, and a couple other brands like Geely. So yeah, I think we might actually finally see an autonomous car that can actually drive you home while you're drunk, which is one of my tests for the apocalypse, which is, can an autonomous car get you home safer than a horse?
I don't know.
So all of this shit, all of these neural networks, and I would steam take for
What
horse.
caused the apocalypse? Number one, your car might run out of battery. But number two, your car could be hacked.
Correct. That's why I would always, in an apocalypse, I would take a horse with a gas mask.
Yeah. A gas
And
mask.
maybe like a lead shield around the main internal organs. But I have sketches.
But we're hoping to not.
Designing a bunker is like an onion. Getting ready for the end of the world is like an onion donkey.
Is your horse called Dompy?
How did you know? You actually want a donkey for the end of the world.
Yeah.
Horse is not the right creature. It is fast, but it is not funny. Companionship, that's all we have. Okay, I've lost it.
A horse. No, I'm not getting into it. Yeah, companionship is all we have. So, okay, let's wrap it up. Let's do your personal, give me 2 or 3. What are your ins and outs for 2026?
6, 7.
You want that to be out?
I want to be in. I only just got it.
Oh, God.
That's the first time I've ever done it.
Just now.
Just now.
It's a
Live.
I've been torturing my kids.
What does it mean?
I have got the most amazing Instagram reel about why the fact that it means nothing is part of a larger kind of
Zeitgeist.
Yeah. The fact that it doesn't mean anything is kind of the point. And but it came from a song and then it came from a basketball reference.
I think it has particular relevance in New Zealand because if you treat it as a rating, it's like in New Zealand, they're like, if you read a Google reviews comment on a thing, it's like product work great, amazing, great warranty, great service from staff.
Yeah. 3 stars.
That's a New Zealand thing. It's an inherently New Zealand thing. Do this when you get bored. Just go watch, go find a cafe review or something like that.
What's that got to do
go
with
through.
7?
It's like I don't want to commit.
Oh, sure.
I don't want to commit to
The thing is that now that it's a ridiculous meme, you start to realize how many times you say 6 or 7.
Yes, it's like
kidding.
You want to be nice,
but not that great.
Yeah, 3 is kind of mean, right? Because it's 3 divided by 5. It's actually 67, but. It's close to 67, but yeah.
Okay, so for you, 6, 7 is still in. I enjoy it. I enjoy mocking my children. What else? What else is in? In work and life? More of something, less of something else? For my end, I'll tell you my ends.
Yeah, let's do you. My ends are weird. bunkers,
I'm gonna
donkeys,
read more books.
cyber.
Oh, no, bunkers. Oh, I will agree with you there.
Maybe bunkers are in.
I genuinely believe that people everywhere, New Zealanders in particular, are not prepared enough for natural or other disasters. It surprises me how many people do not have a go bag, enough food for 3 days, bottles of water in their house. Like, people are grossly underprepared, and we've had enough. Flooding in New Zealand at summer is consistently
now it's climate change.
Parts
of,
like,
you know what?
It's always happening. So why are people like go? Oh, I've got no food. Like, prepare. That's what's in for 2026. Prepare for a disaster.
Preparation.
Yeah, doomsday prepper. I would so have a bunker. I'd love to have a bunker.
Bunker would be cool.
I've got a shed.
Yeah,
I got a small shed with bottles of water and a go bag.
Yeah,
hypothermia kit. Cans, dehydrated food.
Beans.
Probably.
Great food. Nutritious carbohydrates, high in vitamins and.
But
protein.
What lack of preparation is preparing to fail in all versions of life, but this in particular.
You gotta say it with a military voice.
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Yeah. And speaking of books, one book I'm reading is called The Good Ancestor: How to Think Long Term in a Short Term World. I think that's something I'm going to think about. That's on my in list for 2026. How to think beyond short termism, beyond a quarter, beyond a year, beyond my lifetime. Long term thinking is apparently 100+ years, so it's really hard to do in this world. Digital technology makes it worse.
Yeah.
But when you think about battery development, chemicals, money, all of these things,
there's some good shit going on around the world. I watched my dad showed me a TED talk about like Africa's AI development, and they're like so far ahead.
Yeah,
they got like ring fiber around the entire continent, and that stat 35 million connections to over a billion. And they've got they're using AI for all the things the Western world is worried about, which is quite fascinating. So they because they've got like low wages. The guy was talking about this hypothetical person who was actually modeled after something that is actually happening, where they've got these low sort of low relative wage jobs, and what they have is high youth unemployment, and they're a very young nation. So they're not going to face the labor crunch in the same way at the same pace as the rest of the world, including China. China's got a massive demographic time bomb. And what they're finding is that young people are using AI to take on more jobs. And so one person is doing helping with education, being a teacher, helping with nursing, with administrative nursing tasks or administrative doctoring tasks, where it's not, you don't need a medical degree or anything, but you can help with patient bookings and things like that, right? And so they're delivering the promise of AI because China, Africa's problems are unique to Africa. They've got a rapid development goal, and they're developing very rapidly, and they're leapfrogging all of the legacy infrastructure. You know how we talked about going from, they didn't get all the previous generations of cell towers, so they don't have to rip them out and replace them. They just went straight to 4G, and the same sort of things happening with AI. So they're getting data centers put down. A lot of action is happening in Africa, and they're actually living the promise of, I'm sure
when you can pay cheaper wages, you can employ a lot of people at the same time, you could probably get a lot more done.
Yeah. And, I still find it hard to believe that we talk about administrative overhead in healthcare in a first world country, that you can pay ChatGPT $20, and surely there's some utility there. And you look at Anthropic's strategy of going into healthcare, it's, those guys aren't dumb.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. They're backed by pretty capable companies that know where the money's sitting at. And money is a problem is how you unlock money. That's always a golden rule in business, right? And if OpenAI just announced the healthcare thing. So I just don't, people worrying about their jobs in the Western world is maybe parts of the developing world have already been worrying about their jobs.
Yeah.
So it's not a
shift.
Yeah.
You go from one career that you show up 9 to 5, 5 days a week for years at a time, and you go to a diverse portfolio of money-making schemes. The problem is that, cost of living is high and mortgages can be paying. So you kind of freelance workers, contract workers are used to it, but most people aren't.
Yeah. Did we cover off everything? So bunkers are in.
Bunkers are in. Books are in.
Books are in.
Books and bunkers.
Books and bunkers. Interesting. Keep pulling at that thread.
Something so vet that I could run. Books and bunkers. I'm going to concept that one.
That would actually be cool, like just doomsday books.
And what's out? Having your birthday as your password, like 16 characters plus. 16 characters.
Yeah, and it's real. Like use a phrase.
Yeah.
Like
Use a password.
security is like an onion, donkey. Don't use that as a password, but that was an example. Like very easy to remember, especially with a Scottish accent. Have you seen Bad? Oh no, the Frat House movie with Anna Faris in it, where she's like
Bunny.
the bunny,
The house bunny?
the house bunny,
God, it's so
and
good.
like her thing to remember names is like
Alaina.
yeah. It actually works. It actually works. You should try it. Yeah. If you ever need to remember a name, you just need to like, yeah. Especially a hard name like Veeraswamy.
Veerswamy. Raj.
Yeah.
And with that, yeah,
Where is he?
move forward to another year of unhinged AI news.
Unhinged is the keyword. Unhinged is the fucking keyword. Are you getting desensitized to shit? Because like as soon as a certain somebody made certain tariff threats about a certain piece of it, I was just like,
Yeah. I'd say that extreme context collapse is probably the thing that stresses me. Like that, I feel huge impact from that. And I think that's why reading slowly, like slow absorption of information that doesn't require you to react.
Yeah.
You know, like when you read, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, it almost doesn't matter. You are taking in one directive and you have to think about it and process it and sit with it. And you don't get to react back. You don't get to ask what other people thought about it until you go and talk to a human and say, oh, I read this book. Did you read it? What did you think? But I think that slowing down of the brain to try and separate from context collapse is pretty important.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely desensitized. Maybe willingly so. Maybe it's like brain self-preservation.
yeah.
We were not meant to see this much news so much.